Typically, duration estimates are presented as numbers with a unit. For example, 5 hours, 3 days, 2 weeks type. Most project schedules will use this simple way of presenting the estimate. The lags or delays that have been inserted into the schedule are not included in the activity estimates. But of course, these leads and lags will be part of the overall estimate of a work package and upward to the project level estimate. I am strictly speaking here about presenting the estimate on the network diagram. How about if estimate information has to be conveyed to certain stakeholders? Which one will be a better way of presenting an estimate of, let's say, 3 weeks? Is it better to say, this activity will be done in 3 weeks, or this activity will be done in about 3 weeks, or this activity will be done in 3 weeks plus minus 3 days, or there is an 80% probability this activity will be done in 3 weeks, or there is a 20% chance this activity will take more than 3 weeks. It depends on the culture of the organization, the level of project management maturity in the organization, the familiarity of the stakeholders with different methods of estimation, and simply what is the most common method of conveying or presenting such information. Generally speaking, I will say follow the culture and the common method. In one organization, if the estimate was presented as 80% chance of completing in 3 weeks, stakeholders were extremely uncomfortable with the 20% uncertainty, not realizing that an estimate by its nature of being a projection has risk built into it. So the project manager presented this information differently. The activity will take 3 weeks to complete. However, we are going to have 3 extra days available in case any piece is left over. We can finish it during that time, otherwise we will move to the next activity right after 3 weeks. Sounds very positive. Somewhat takes care of the feeling of uncertainty. So, go with the flow. Understand how the stakeholders prefer to see the information to understand it better. The other thing I want to talk about is documenting the basis of estimate. Frankly, if I tell a stakeholder that the activity will cost $30,000 to complete, I am very likely going to be challenged. Wow, that is a lot of money. Why is it so expensive? If I had documented the basis of estimate, I can provide the details. If not, then I will be trying to remember how I got that estimate. Keep in mind there might be hundreds of activities in the project. Also, when writing basis of estimate, it is a good idea to not just write how the estimate was developed, but also write down the assumptions that were made, constraints that were considered, how much confidence is there in the estimate, and if there is any significant risk that may affect the activity or work package. All of those should be identified and written down in the basis of estimate.